Lucy did not drift away from the voice spotlight. She ran from it. At just 14, her voice stunned millions. Yet behind the stage lights, something darker was happening. Panic episodes backstage, pressure to change her identity, contracts that demanded control no child should face. Fans saw a rising star. Her family saw a girl slipping away. Years later, Lucy finally revealed what pushed her out of the spotlight. The first warning signs no one saw. Long before Lucy ever explained why she stepped away from the spotlight, she hinted at something few people noticed during her time on The Voice Kids. She admitted that something felt off from the very beginning. At 14, she did not understand the feeling. She described it as a heaviness that sat in her chest. She said it didn't belong in a child's heart. At the time, she assumed it was fear or nerves, but she now recognizes it as the first sign that the world she had stepped into would never feel safe for her. One moment stayed with her for years. After one of the early filming days, she sat in the back seat of her family car in complete silence. Her mother thought she was exhausted. Lucy nodded when asked, but she later admitted she was not tired at all. She felt something tightening inside her. She did not know what the feeling meant. She remembered staring out the window and thinking, "Everyone is cheering, why do I feel scared?" She opened up that this moment became one of the clearest memories from her time on the show. At 14, it made no sense. As an adult, it frightened her because she now understood it as the beginning of a deeper emotional strain. Family friends who later viewed backstage footage noticed the same warning signs. Lucy smiled for the cameras, but the smile never reached her eyes. The tension was visible whenever producers rushed toward her with instructions or adjustments. One friend commented that Lucy was too quiet for a girl who had just stunned a nation. During one live stream years after the show, Lucy described the atmosphere backstage. She said the attention felt bright and cold at the same time. She remembered walking back to her dressing room while crew members whispered nearby. She did not know what they were discussing, yet she sensed they were speaking about her rather than to her. She used the word studied to describe how she felt, and she admitted it seemed strange for someone her age to use such a word. It was the only word that fit the feeling. She felt watched in a way that made her uneasy and exposed. A rehearsal session brought another early sign. A vocal coach corrected a phrasing choice. Lucy nodded and continued, but inside she felt a sudden sinking panic. She believed any mistake would prove she did not belong there. She held the fear inside and continued singing. But the moment stayed with her for years because it marked the first time she felt overwhelmed by pressure she could not control. Later in her career, she hinted that these moments were only the start of something much heavier. She once wrote a short caption that said, "I didn't know then what those feelings would eventually grow into." Fans had no idea what she meant. They would not understand until she finally spoke openly in the recent interview that revealed everything. These early warning signs did not seem important at the time because Lucy kept them hidden behind her talent. But the moment she walked onto the stage in 2018 and delivered the audition that stunned Britain, those quiet feelings became the foundation of everything that followed.
It's only since, 2 years ago that I thought, oh, this is actually, it feels kind of serious now.
The world saw the beginning of her rise. Lucy felt the beginning of something very different. That contrast became clearer the moment she performed for the judges. The 14-year-old who broke the format of The Voice Kids. In 2018, a 14-year-old Lucy Thomas from Wigan stepped onto The Voice Kids stage with a kind of focus that is rarely seen in someone so young. No one in the audience or among the coaches expected what happened next. Lucy chose to perform Aria Vador Te from Puccini's Tosca. It was an opera piece that most adults would hesitate to attempt on national television. The moment the first note left her mouth, the judges reacted with shock. Danny Jones turned his chair almost instantly. Pixie Lott followed. William turned soon after. Their faces showed disbelief because they could not understand how such a powerful and controlled sound could come from a 14-year-old girl. Lucy later described her decision with a simple explanation. She said, "This is where I find myself." That single line revealed more than she realized. Opera was not a random choice. It was the only place she felt steady. Danny Jones brought her onto his team because he believed she had something rare. He told her she had a natural tone that could not be taught. During the battle round, she performed "You Raise Me Up" with 2 other contestants. She showed breath control and emotional depth that seemed far beyond her age. Even Pixie Lott commented that Lucy's voice belonged in the Royal Opera House. What the audience did not see was the tension building behind the scenes. Backstage, producers questioned her choice of a classical piece. They worried that opera would lower the audience's energy because it did not match the usual style of the show. A production assistant told someone privately that they did not want a classical singer to win. They feared such a victory would break the show's format. They believed it would cause problems for future seasons because it would force them to reconsider how they selected contestants. Lucy felt the pressure long before anyone said a word to her. She later admitted that she cried quietly in the hallway before her audition. She did this because she felt opera was not welcome on a stage built for pop music. She feared the audience would not understand her. She feared the producers would think she did not belong there. She wiped her face before walking into the spotlight because she did not want her fear to show.
Now, she's the teen singing sensation who shot to fame on the talent show The Kid's Voice. And this morning, Lucy Thomas.
One of the coaches was overheard saying off camera that if this had been the adult version of The Voice, Lucy would have been a finalist immediately. Comments like this made it clear that she had talent, but they also made something else clear. The show was designed to support a certain type of contestant, and Lucy did not fit that design. Even with extraordinary reactions from the judges, the direction of the show was shifting towards something she could not fit into, and this growing tension became impossible to ignore when the semifinals arrived. The semifinal shock and the first withdrawal from fame. When Lucy reached the semifinals of The Voice Kids, many viewers expected her to rise even higher. She performed The Prayer, the duet made famous by Andrea Bocelli and Celine Dion. The choice marked a shift from the opera piece she used in her audition. It showed how versatile she already was at 14, but it also reflected the show's preference for songs that blended classical style with a more mainstream sound. Several people later felt this change hinted at gentle pressure from producers who wanted her to move away from pure opera so she would fit the format more easily. The performance itself was demanding and required deep emotion and perfect timing. Yet Lucy delivered it with calm precision that surprised viewers. People described the performance as unreal. Clips of the moment spread across social media within hours. Many believed they had just witnessed the strongest performance of the entire season. That is why the outcome shocked everyone. Lucy did not make it to the final round. Many viewers felt a sharp sense of anger the moment her name was not called. They believed the result made no sense. Her performance had moved people to tears. It had gone viral in hours. It had been called one of the strongest performances ever seen on the show. Many felt that something unfair had happened behind the scenes. The anger grew fast. Discussions exploded online the same night, and the tone of those discussions was nothing like the usual debates that follow reality shows. People accused the producers of ignoring talent. They believed Lucy was removed because her classical style did not fit the show's preferred image.
Something happened in that year that...
Give it a go.
Just give it a go, you never know, and then here I am today.
Some viewers wrote long posts claiming she had been robbed. Others said they felt sick after hearing the result. As the disappointment spread, more extreme reactions began to appear. A few fans made videos crying on camera because they believed the judging was unfair. There were reports on fan forums of viewers refusing to watch the rest of the season because they believed the competition had lost its credibility. A small number of people even claimed they threw away merchandise from the show out of frustration. This moment was confusing not only for the audience, but also for Lucy. According to people close to her, she felt embarrassed when she learned she was eliminated. She stood backstage surrounded by noise and celebration from other contestants, yet she felt a cold disappointment settle inside her. This confusion led to a painful question. When she finally saw her mother afterward, Lucy asked quietly, "Am I not what they want?" It was not asked in anger, it was asked in fear. Lucy's family watched all of this closely. They understood the pressure she felt during the competition. They also understood how deeply the elimination affected her. When the show ended, they made a shocking decision. The unexpected disappearance and the quiet rebuilding. When Lucy failed to reach the finals of The Voice Kids, many viewers waited for the usual next steps that follow television exposure. People expected interviews, press tours, and announcements of new opportunities. None of that happened. After the semifinals, there was complete silence. Weeks passed with no updates about Lucy's future. Months passed with still nothing. It seemed as if she had vanished. The truth was very different. Lucy did not sign with a major record label. Instead, she made a surprising choice that confused many people who followed her journey. She decided to build her music career from home. She worked quietly with her family, far from cameras and far from industry pressure. Her mother, Diana, became her unofficial manager. Diana handled communication, schedules, and decisions because she believed her daughter needed guidance from someone who cared about her well-being. Lucy began posting music online. She taught herself video editing by watching tutorials. She used free or inexpensive software. She recorded clips in her bedroom with simple equipment. She chose songs that meant something to her. This included Hallelujah and Somewhere, which she posted in 2019. These videos went viral and surprised everyone, including Lucy. People shared the clips not because they were part of a major promotional campaign, but because her voice moved them. Listeners from around the world discovered her through these simple recordings. During this time, Lucy also worked on her first album. The album was called Premiere and was released in 2020 under Cavendish Records. Cavendish was a small independent label that focused on classical crossover music. They recorded the album in a modest studio in Manchester. There were no expensive sets, no marketing teams, and no television appearances to promote it. The album contained songs such as Time to Say Goodbye, Ave Maria, and I Will Always Love You. Despite the lack of publicity, the album attracted attention from classical music bloggers. They praised her tone, her control, and her ability to bring emotion to every song. Behind the scenes, Lucy faced challenges that fans never saw. She reportedly turned down 2 management deals because the companies wanted her to change her image. They wanted a more modern look. They wanted her to sing songs that fit trends instead of songs that fit her voice. She refused because she did not want to lose her identity. She also struggled with limited resources. Her bedroom laptop crashed often while she edited her videos. She had to redo entire projects because the device failed during rendering. She kept going because she wanted to build something real for herself, the artistic rebellion. As Lucy continued building her career from home, she began shaping an identity that did not match what the industry expected from someone her age. Her second album, titled Encore, became the clearest sign that she wanted to take control of her music. This project included new experimental choices. One of the most unexpected choices was her decision to cover Nessun Dorma. This song is traditionally performed by male tenors. It is considered one of the most demanding classical pieces in the world. Many people questioned why a young woman would attempt a song with such a strong history behind it. When critics complained, Lucy responded with a simple and powerful message on Instagram. She wrote that music is emotion and not gender. She explained that she connected with the song and believed she had the right to express herself through it. Her response gained support from fans who appreciated her confidence and honesty. It also angered some classical music traditionalists.
Lucy Thomas has flown all the way over from the UK to tell us about her brand new album.
They believed she was breaking rules that should remain untouched. Lucy ignored the negativity and focused on her work. Around this time, she began collaborating with producer John Cohen. Cohen had experience with classical crossover music. He helped her strengthen her arrangements and improve the quality of her recordings without changing her artistic style. Even with this new professional partnership, Lucy kept recording many of her vocals at home. She maintained her independent approach because she believed it helped her stay grounded and connected to her music. She wanted her work to feel personal rather than manufactured. During this period, there are reports that a major American record label reached out to her. They offered her a contract that appeared promising from the outside. Insiders later whispered that the label wanted Lucy to change many things about herself. They wanted her to Americanize her style. This included wardrobe adjustments, pop crossover songs, and a more commercial image. They wanted to shape her into a product they could market to a wider audience. Lucy refused the offer after careful thought. During this time, people connected to The Voice reached out indirectly to invite her to appear on television again. They wanted her to perform or participate in a future season. These offers might have boosted her exposure, but Lucy declined every one of them. She no longer wanted to return to a place that made her feel pressured and misunderstood. Her second album marked the start of her rebellion against the expectations that surrounded young performers. She wanted to grow at her own pace. But as her confidence grew and her artistic identity became stronger, her body delivered a painful warning that nearly ended everything she had worked for. The 3-month disappearance. In 2021, Lucy suddenly disappeared from every platform she used. There were no videos, no updates, and no small posts to assure fans she was still working. For nearly 3 months, nothing appeared online. People did not know that during this time she was living through one of the most frightening periods of her life. A vocal injury had stopped her completely. Doctors explained that her vocal cords were damaged from strain and overuse. They told her she needed 6 to 8 weeks of total silence. She could not sing at all. She could not even rehearse quietly at home. For someone whose entire identity was connected to her voice, this order felt like a punishment she did not know how to face. Pain grew in more ways than one. Lucy cried often during her recovery. She told friends that she believed she had ruined the only thing she was good at. The guilt became heavy because she thought the damage was her fault. She believed she had pushed too hard. She thought she had failed to protect the one part of herself that always gave her purpose. A voice specialist later evaluated her injury. The specialist warned her that one wrong decision during this recovery period could end her career. That sentence created fear that stayed with her every day. As Lucy remained silent, rumors spread. Some people claimed she had suffered a mental breakdown. Others claimed she had quit music. There were even claims that she was living alone and reclusive in Wigan. These rumors grew because there was no official information to stop them. Lucy did not want to speak publicly about her pain. She did not want to share private details with strangers. After weeks of rumors and pressure, she broke her silence only once. She made a short post that said she was still here and she was in the studio, not under the flash. She did not offer more explanation. She only wanted people to know she was still fighting. And it was during this fragile chapter that Lucy finally spoke openly in a forgotten interview that revealed why she stepped away from the spotlight The Voice had created for her. Why Lucy really walked away from The Voice spotlight. In late 2021, shortly after Lucy recovered from her vocal injury, she and her mother agreed to a small radio interview in Greater Manchester. It was not promoted and only aired once. Almost no one noticed it.
Feels so odd watching myself on TV like it did when it actually aired.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. I wouldn't change any of it for the world.
A fan page later uploaded a short clip from the recording, and that became the only surviving piece of a conversation that exposed the truth Lucy had carried alone for years. The interview sounded raw. It sounded like someone finally speaking without fear of how her words might be interpreted. It was the first time she spoke about what really happened during and after her time on The Voice Kids. Lucy began by talking about how overwhelmed she felt at age 14. She admitted that the stage looked bright, but everything behind it felt cold. She remembered feeling watched and judged in ways she could not understand at that age. Then she shared something she had never told the public. During filming, she experienced a severe panic episode that frightened her so deeply she still remembered every detail. She explained that she had walked off stage after a run-through and everything around her went blurry. Her hearing faded. Her vision narrowed into a dark tunnel. She remembered gripping a chair to stay upright before everything went blank for a few seconds. When she opened her eyes again, a staff member told her to shake it off and return to rehearsal. She said nothing because she thought the problem was her. That hidden moment became one of the reasons she feared the spotlight. Her mother then revealed her own truth. Diana said she saw her daughter's emotional strain long before anyone else. She remembered the smile Lucy put on for the cameras and how quickly that smile collapsed once they were alone. Diana said she regretted allowing her daughter to audition because she did not see the danger early enough. She described the silence after the semifinals as something she and Lucy chose together. She protected her because no one else was going to. The interview grew heavier when they began discussing what happened after the show. Lucy revealed that she received a contract offer that frightened her. It required approval for public appearances, music collaborations, and even the clothing she wore during performances. It limited the genres she could sing and demanded that she shift toward a more commercial pop style. She described the contract as something that felt invasive. She said the truth clearly and directly. "I felt owned." She believed her identity as a singer was disappearing behind what the industry wanted. Lucy then admitted that during her vocal injury in 2021, she considered walking away from music completely. She believed she had failed. She believed the pressure had destroyed the one thing she loved. She said she saw her future without singing and it terrified her. But she could not deny how broken she felt. She understood for the first time how close she had come to giving up. At the end of the interview, she shared the darkest truth she had held inside. "I felt like they were training me, not helping me." With the truth finally spoken aloud, Lucy entered a new artistic chapter, shaped by her own choices rather than the demands that once threatened to silence her completely. The rebirth. Lucy entered a new stage of her career with decisions that came entirely from her own judgment rather than outside pressure. In September 2024, she released her third album titled Timeless. It marked the first time she relied mostly on original compositions. These songs came from the long period she spent rebuilding her voice and confidence. They carried clearer emotions, heavier themes, and a sense of maturity that surprised listeners who had followed her since childhood. The opening track, Forever, became the emotional anchor of the album. She wrote it for her grandmother, who taught her how to sing when she was young. Recording the song was so difficult that she stopped the session several times because the feelings overwhelmed her. She continued only when she felt steady enough to finish the final take. The result became one of the most impactful recordings of her career. Timeless blended styles that widened her artistic identity. Some tracks sounded like rock ballads, others carried cinematic strings or soft electronic layers. She worked with young composers from Italy and France who understood her desire for authenticity rather than commercial trends. Her 2024 mini-tour sold out in 72 hours even without advertising. The concerts focused on sound rather than spectacle. She performed with a small orchestra and a piano, which allowed her voice to remain the center of the experience. Her first performance in Manhattan followed the same approach and received positive attention from local critics who described her presence as quiet but commanding. A simple piano and cello cover of A Million Dreams spread across TikTok and reached millions of views in 1 week. Her album reached 1 million streams within the first month on Spotify, which confirmed her ability to succeed without major industry backing. Some critics described her rise as unusual and even threatening to the traditional industry model. Agencies tried to bring her into their systems during her tour, but she declined every offer. Make sure to click the cards on the screen now if you enjoyed.